Hello, today we're going to work on that battery. It's a Makita 3 amps 18 volt. Let's see what's wrong with it. First, let's check. Okay, you've got only one LED, so it needs to be charged, but if I plug it on the charger, I will stop right there because I've tested it and it's running like that for as long as you put it there. So it stays on the blinking light with the fan active. I've looked it up and the charger is doing that if there is an issue with the temperature into the battery itself to cool it down, mostly to cool it down. But as you have seen, I didn't use that battery. I just plugged it in and it should not be doing that. It stays like that as long as I keep it on the charger. So in fact, it's never charging because you have to pass that stage to get to that to begin to have the charging. But to me, this is not a surprise because I know this battery, and maybe if you've seen the previous video where we talked about our little tool to diagnose batteries, you remember that one. That one, in fact, was showing an issue, and I already kind of know what is the issue thanks to the tool. So let's check it with the tool. Okay, what do we see there? We see that the voltage is 1556, and most importantly, we see that part in red where we see that one of the temp sensor is showing minus 30 degrees and the other one is showing 28. So definitely there is something there that is wrong. For the rest, the battery is unlocked, so it's not an issue of any other fault than something related to the temperature. And this, of course, makes sense with what we saw on the charger. My guess is that there is an issue with the temp sensor. We can see that there. It thinks that it's really, really cold, or one of them thinks it's really, really cold. When we put it on the charger reads that status and try to correct that with the fan, which never happens because if the probe is dead, it's not going to work anytime. So thanks to this tool, we have already a good heads up on what could be the issue, and we will jump directly on checking that instead of checking anything else. Anyway, in terms of battery themselves, you see the cells are almost balanced, so this is also good to know. No need to check on that too much. We will open it up and see what's to be done. Just a quick word on the tool. As you can see, I'm still using that prototype, horrible mess of wires and as one of you noticed, with a horrible breadboard, which is not reliable. Thanks for pointing me to another type of breadboard that I will soon get on the bench. This is temporary. In parallel of that video, I'm working hard on making it something that is really usable and not a mess like this one. I will share that on video, of course. The next version should be all-in-one. Just plug it on the charger and then you get your diagnosis. This is work in progress. Of course, I will keep you updated as it goes. This should come in some weeks. Stay tuned on that one. And by the way, if you haven't seen that video on the charger, I will leave a link to it so that you can have a look. I think it's quite interesting and promising for the future. On top of the casing and the rest, I'm also working hard on the software to make it better, to give more insight about what is inside the battery, because there are more things that we could know and get out of the BMS. And this again will be part of the future video. So now back to that one, let's disassemble it and see what is inside. Okay, so as we can see, we have the different terminals that are there. We have the main chip that is underneath there. This is a fuse that is there also to protect the whole system. And there must be two thermistors, one on top of the board somewhere, and the other one on the back of the board, where in fact it's sensing the cells itself. One on the top is more on the upper side of the board, is it going okay or not, and the other one is more checking on the cells themselves to see how they are. Having looked at other boards, without even pulling everything out, because to take the board apart you have to unsolder all those slots that are there and remove the screw. I already know that the thermistor for those ones is soldered on the top there. So I will remove that small protection just to get access to that so that we can measure that part and see what it gives. Protection, as you can see, was removed. This is some kind of silicone. Thanks Makita for making it so much better than some others. It is easy to remove. You can see through and it's protecting the board. What else can you ask? This is the type of stuff that should be put on those boards, on any kind of board, and still there to protect. So anybody telling me that no, it's not possible, why Makita is making it and some other are not, huh? Just tell me. Okay, so I take my multimeter in ohms, checking resistance between those two. Okay, so as you can see, it's like there is no resistance at all between those two, which is absolutely not normal. The principle of an NTC or thermistor is to have a high resistance. Most of the time in those type of battery, the resistance is 10k ohms. This will give you the nominal, which is interpreted as normal temperature, 20, 25 degrees, something like that, depending on how you establish your basis. But this would be the nominal. The more heat you get, the more the resistance will go down. So from 10k, it will progressively go down to 9, 8, etc. On the opposite, if it's getting colder, the resistance will increase. And again, from the nominal 10k, will go to 11, 12, or even more. This is what gives the BMS the temperature of what it's measuring. So in our case, having such a high resistance leads to what we saw in the tester, something like minus 30 degrees, which is extreme cold temperature, which of course leads to a fault because this is really something that is out of the normal range, and that will lead to the charger trying to compensate for that. Now, this is my theory. How can I check if this is true? Well, one of the easy way I will just attempt is to add a resistance there, a 10k resistance. This will be a fixed resistance. This will not be an NTC, but if this gives better reading on the tool, then we can try on the charger. If it is fixing it in the sense that the battery can be charged, it means that definitely we need to change the NTC to go to a working one. So here is my 10k resistor. I will solder it on top of the existing one. This will not cause a problem. A quick word on the calculation to get to the point where we know that we can have a resistance in parallel of the other one. So this is what we want to do, is to put two resistance in parallel, the NTC and the one that we want to put as test. Our current NTC is of infinite value, so it means it will be 0. So if we add it up and put the 10k as we wish, we will get, as a result, 10k. And we'll see the results. Okay, let's check the resistance just right there and see the change. Oh, surprise, we have a bit less than 10k, which is fully normal because this is what is expected, and I don't really care if I'm a bit below 10k. That's fully okay. I will just put the case back so we don't mess with anything else. And now we'll check with the tester to see. Let's check with PocketOBI what we have. So everything is plugged back. Let's start it. Read the battery. Yay! 26 and 30. That's exactly what we want to see. So now we are fooling the BMS with this resistor. There is still a gap between those two temperature, but that's expected, and that can be okay in terms of the battery. This is looking good, but next step will be on the charger, and then we'll see if the charger starts charging. If that's the case, then we know we have everything to go further and fix the battery completely. So charger is on, battery is not fully reassembled. We can see the little resistor. That's okay. This is just a test. And it is not moving back to that one. It's not blinking, so it means it's charging. So we'll stop right now and just take you back once this has made any progress. Okay, that's interesting. After some time, it stopped, and now it says the battery is broken. Come on. Let's check this on our tester. Okay, now I see another problem. The gap between those two is too high. We have 26 and 39. One of the things I discovered in the protocol is that there is also a check on the spread in terms of the different measure, and this one must be one of those. When you have 13-degree difference between the two probes, then the system will consider that there is an issue. That's why it stopped the charger. I think we've pinpointed the initial issue. So yes, when we put our resistance as NTC, it started because it was the same level as the rest of the board, but you can guess that while it is charging, the gap is increasing because on one side, the real NTC will follow the temperature, while my fake NTC will stay where it is, hence the gap, hence the stop of the battery. But remember, this was not a fix. This was just to validate the fact that yes, it's working. And see, another good thing is that we are seeing the battery at 19 volt, whereas before it was much less. So it means that battery is fixable. We have to change the thermistor, and then we'll get to something that yes can be revived just by changing the thermistor. When we look at the detail, we see that this one has not been charged so many times, with only 31 compared to some other that I've seen. I'm not saying it's brand new, that's not the case, but still this is something that is worth saving with the right thermistor. Let's go and analyze another one. This other one has almost the same symptoms. Let me check it. 15 volt, okay. Balancing that is not that good, and especially on that latest battery. But see, 64-26 in terms of the resistance. So I guess in that case, when we have 64, which is so much higher than the nominal, we should have a thermistor that is really more low in resistance than the one that we had before that was really high in the range of resistance. So that will be a good way to understand if yes, this is an issue with the thermistor again, and can we fix it by just changing the thermistor. So let's open it and see what is inside. And by the way, I didn't show you that this one is also blinking when you push the test button. Looks a bit like the other one. Just there, I'm not sure you can see, we can see a tiny bit of Kapton tape that is usually seen on those thermistors. So it means that yes, it is there, but yes, it is protected with that stuff. Let's see if we can remove it easily or not. Yes, again, this is something that is easy to remove, and we can get easily to where the NTC is soldered. So that's great. Let's check the resistance. You see 2.6k ohms. So again, for me, this is a culprit. So on that one, it's going to be a bit more tricky, because on the other one, it was like there was no resistance. On this one, there is a resistance. So if I put yet another resistance, it will be in parallel, and I will not be able to reach the 10k. The best way, without having to unsolder everything, at some stage I will have to do that, but right now my goal is to diagnose and not do the fix right away, because anyway, I don't have the proper thermistor on hand. What I will do is remove the pad and see if I can push out the thermistor so that I can put my resistance and again do the same trick as before. So let's see if we can remove that one. So now we have those legs that are still. Let's see if we can push them out. At least one. Okay, here we go. Here we have the bad guy. So same trick as before. Let's put this 10k ohm resistor and see how this fly. Our 10k resistor is now put on the board. Let's use PocketOBI to check it. Read the battery. 25, 28. So again, we have our nominal at 25, which is what was expected, and 28. So it means that right now it should be in a good position to charge, which it was not doing before. So let's go and test on the charger. See, it hasn't changed. Usually it takes 4-5 seconds before switching back to the blinking mode. So I will let it charge. Of course, I'm just right next to it, so no risk. Or I mean, if there is anything, I will be there just to catch it. I think, anyway, like the previous one, it will go into default mode at a certain level because of the gap between one NTC and the other. But at least we will see if it's taking the charge and check it out on PocketOBI again just after. Guess what? Yes, it's blinking as faulty as expected. Let's see, 2 bars compare to before where it was just blinking. Let's see what the battery is saying now. So 18 volt. We see there that the gap between the two is not as impressive as the other one where it was 13. So this is something I will have to dig into. But Still, the battery is looking now better. It's not blinking anymore. It can be charged. The balancing is still not perfect. I think that maybe if we can push the battery to full charge, it might get better. So our two batteries were blocked because of this little NTC. We saw that the resistor was tricking the BMS in thinking that everything was okay and to allow the charge on both of them, whereas as you saw before, they were stuck and could not charge. So right now we have almost functional batteries. So I've looked up replacement for those NTCs. It's a Semitech NTC. It's quite cheap with €1 for 5, so it's around 20 cents plus there is a bit of shipping. For those ones, the nominal is at 25 degrees, exactly what we want for 10K resistance. As of right now, I haven't received them, but anyway, the goal of the video was to show how PocketOBI is helping in diagnosing and helping in that case to really find the fault. So it was not a full repair video. Once I receive the thermistor, I will show you the final result so that we can conclude on that part. So again, I'm quite pleased with the tool. It's really helpful. So you know that there is work to do on the physical side, but I see this type of diagnosis as really encouraging. It shows also that I have work to do on the software side to better handle the temperatures, the gaps, the spreads, and see deeper into the protocol what could be the right value to set. This will be worked in parallel, and you will see the result of this in further video. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please leave a like. If you haven't subscribed, you should do it right now. If you haven't watched the video on the PocketOBI, you will see the link below or somewhere on the screen just after. Thanks again. See you soon for the follow-up. Bye.